Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to build a kingdom in Minecraft Survival. Right now, you're seeing my kingdom, which is almost 6 years old. So trust me, I have a lot of tips on this stuff. So this video idea has been requested for a long time. A lot of you guys have wanted to know how I've built this amazing kingdom. And it's really hard to pick like 10 specific steps that I did to make this. There's a lot of like small things. So let's just cover off the important ones first. Now, before you do any building, the most important thing you have to do is you have to pick a great location. And this kind of ties into the theme of your kingdom. So for example, if you want to make like a Western kind of kingdom where everything was like old Westy and like cowboy-y, is that a word? But you wouldn't want to build cowboy stuff in like a snowy mountain or like, you know, maybe in a normal grassy plain. You'd want it in like a desert or like a savanna or a badlands biome. So yeah, make sure you have the idea laid out first. Now for me, I wanted to build like a kingdom, like medieval rustic theme. So this big plains biome works out great because there's no real like specific biome I need. And building on that, you want to pick a place that has a lot of space if you want to expand it. Because let's be real, kingdoms aren't going to be tiny. They're big, they're massive. So if you're building in like a microbiome, it's not going to work out well. In fact, here is my seed on a brand new creative world. You can see how much space I have. This entire forest, the whole island here, all of it goes into my kingdom today. Now granted, my kingdom is almost 6 years old, so this is a lot of work. But if you want to have a magnificent, amazing build like I have, you want to plan for a big area. Now we just talked about themes, right? In my case, it's a medieval rustic kingdom theme. So you want to make sure that all your buildings that you're going to build have that same theme. You can't say, hey, I'm going to make a giant axolotl statue. I mean, ignore the skin statue because that's like out of the kingdom walls. But the point is, you don't want to be building out of your theme. As you'll see, every single build here is in the correct theme. I have a clock tower that looks all made of wood. It looks old. I have a barn that has hanging lamps like it's medieval. I even have automatic farms that are hidden by medieval buildings so it fits the theme. Now it's hard to process this all right now if you haven't built anything yet, but just the general idea is you want to start looking up how to build a certain kind of building. So if you want to build rustic like me, type in Minecraft rustic house on like Google or Pinterest or something. Start getting ideas for what you could possibly do and then learn how to build like that in general. Now next up, we're going to be talking about how to plan the actual builds themselves. So far we've talked about, you know, you want to get your area, you want to think about your style, but now let's actually get down to the building and actually going hands-on. Now I'm going to use wool to plan out where things are going to go in this creative world. Together, we're going to kind of build like a mock kingdom. So I'd recommend taking out a block of your choice and putting down a little bit of like a square area for a future house. This right here can be the first house in your kingdom. Now keep in mind, in a kingdom, houses are usually close together. They're usually in like packs or they're in like rows. They're not isolated too much. So maybe I'll say I'll put a house like right over here down the potential street. And speaking of streets, I'll take out a shovel and I'll actually plan out where the future roads are going to go. So I want to have like a nice big main street coming down the middle and it'll go like this. And if there's a house here on the side, the road can kind of divert into the house just like this. Now we have our idea down. Now we can start putting more houses near the road and kind of have, you know, like that city feel where you walk down the main street and there's houses on all sides. And now picture the future. You walk out of the front door of your house, boom, main street, house there, shop there, farm there. So many things you can put right in front of your own house. And I'm going to prove it to you guys that it actually works out well because look at this street right here. It's a street. I planned out houses on all sides of the street so I could walk down here and turn each way, every way, and find a place to go to. This is amazing for immersion. That's a word you're gonna have to learn. The word immersion basically means that you feel like you're living in that game or that environment. So in my kingdom, it feels alive. I feel like it's a real kingdom. It's not some empty houses with villagers in it, which is what it actually is. But to me, it feels like it's a lively city with things going on, things are happening. It's amazing. And that makes your kingdom amazing when you actually get immersed in it and it feels like home. And that sounds so cheesy, but it's true. Now getting back to our mock kingdom, you can't just build the same kind of house. You can make them bigger or smaller, but realistically, you really have to make different shapes. Because I promise you, you can't build that many square houses. Eventually, it'll get repetitive and boring. You gotta spice it up and make it look cool. So maybe I'll put a little diagonal road over here and I'll have some sort of like circular dome. And this could be maybe like a water tower or like some like science-y reactor kind of thing. Or even better, make shapes that don't even look like real shapes. I can make this like really weird looking shape that has no real structure to it. But when I build it, I can make it kind of fit the shape that I made. Now this might take a little bit of practice because if you're not a good builder, that might be really difficult. But if you can learn how to make the square buildings, you can learn how to make the weird shaped buildings. Now here's a good example right here. This house is like oval shaped. It's like the Krusty Krab. But I built around the shape, kind of made it work. It took a little bit of extra time to, make it perfect. But now it's an amazing armory. So yeah, in conclusion, make sure that you are changing up your shape. Don't just build squares for everything. Now there's a really big thing that a lot of people who build cities or towns really forget. And that is giving every single item a practical use in your kingdom or your town or city, whatever you're doing. So hear me out. It would be really boring if you just made the normal basic Minecraft stuff, like your house, maybe like a chest room or a chest building, an enchanting building, like, you know what I mean? Things that every Minecrafter builds. But if you start making builds for specific kinds of items or things, that's when you can get a lot more building ideas. Like for example, right here. This is a meat shop. It's actually called Marty's Meat Shop because there's a villager here named Marty who I think died. But the point is, I made a meaningless item have a purpose in my kingdom. There we go, new build idea. You guys get the point, okay? Do not limit yourself to just basic Minecraft stuff. Get creative. So before, maybe you guys were thinking, oh, I'll make a house here and enchanting shop there and, anvil in here. But now you know we're gonna have amazing and cool shops. Like, this is an axolotl shop. This is a diamond forge. This is a bacon shop. These are horrible examples, but you know what I'm saying, right? Now, those are like the really important, like, general ideas for things to do in the kingdom. Like, you got your theme, you got your idea, your planning, you got your basic outline for buildings, but now let's get like really niched down and specific. And the first really important thing I want to talk about involves the buildings and how you're gonna build them. Specifically, your block palette. If you think about any like really old Minecraft world, usually there's tons of different colors and shapes and it's just really random. But in a proper kingdom, you want to have a specific kind of theme. We've already covered that, and that includes block palette. So for example, in this medieval kingdom, I wanted to focus on wood because wood is a big thing in medieval times. So I got tons of wood, a little bit of stone, and it mostly sticks to like spruce and oak with cobblestone and stone brick. I can go anywhere in the kingdom and you will most likely find only those blocks. Now like over here, I have some terracotta, I got like some wool over there, but in general, it's the same blocks over and over. And this really complements the immersion of your world, because if you don't have that uniformity, you kind of start to begin to feel like you're in like fairyland, which maybe that's your thing, but for me, I want to feel really immersed, like I'm in a real kingdom. Because like in a real kingdom, you wouldn't normally see blue colored wood on the walls, so this was probably a bad build idea. But in general, I have covered my bases and I've used the same kind of block palette. Carrying on, let's talk about the roads, okay? I'm sure a lot of you guys don't build roads like this. You take out your shovel and you say, I'm just gonna do a bunch of these path blocks because it's so easy. But I personally think these look lazy and stupid. Okay, that was kind of harsh. But I honestly think your roads look a lot better and more immersive if you use different kinds of stone and make it look kind of like beat up and worn down. So what I do is I take any kind of gray stone I can find. So like stone, cobblestone, andesite, mossy cobble, gravel, polished andesite, and I just randomly put it down in a pathway shape and get kind of messy with it along the edges, and it comes out so amazing. I think this kind of a road is just perfect. Now again, I'm being a stickler here. This is not like urgent, you don't have to do this, but I think it looks so much better, and once again, can I say it out loud? It is immersive. Small interruption, I want to go get some fireworks from across the pond because I have none left. Well, I have one left, I guess, but this kind of is a good segue into my next point. If you want to build other kinds of things that don't fit your theme, build it somewhere else. Like over here, this is Farmland. It is a mini town dedicated to automatic farms that don't fit the theme over there. It'd be hard to, you know, make a giant creeper farm in the sky and hide it. Or maybe, like in my case, it's just too laggy to have these farms in a big kingdom. So I put them somewhere else, and it's a nice little Easter egg to go somewhere else and find a new city. But I need fireworks, so give me gunpowder. Creepers, we here? Hello? Oh, we are here. We are here. I love this farm. It's so good. I also have to cover this up with an actual build. I try and cover all the farms here with like birch builds, and I didn't do this one yet. So someone remind me. I will forget. I've already forgotten many times. All right, perfect. Back on we go. Side note, I hope you guys are enjoying this video. It's kind of like a tutorial mixed with a survival episode. It's kind of a different thing I'm doing here, but hopefully you like it. So now you guys get the whole idea here. We're making buildings, making roads, making it within this giant area. It's all cool and dandy. But there's a lot more things to a kingdom that you don't even think about, like small builds in between your buildings. If you just only have buildings and nothing else, it'll be kind of boring, to be honest with you. But you want to have things like target ranges or little flower meadows that you made yourself. This is where a lot of people have trouble because it requires a lot of creativity. You need to make filler in between your builds. Because if I had a building here, then a building right next to it, that's too tight. That's just, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't look good to me. But instead I have this amazing berry orchard with like beehives and apple trees and, you know, berries you can pick yourself and flowers. I have a little wagon here for cargo. I even got a whole custom pond here that I made from scratch. Now let's think even smaller than that. Let's think little tiny like 1-block details. How about a chair or a table? How about a log tied with rails? Simple pumpkin here and there for some extra color. Guys, there's small things you can do anywhere. You guys get it. Just add variety between your builds and you'll be solid. So now let's take everything I just told you and let's put it in this little mock village. And boom, a once boring area looks a lot more lively, and just there's details and nature and wood and still no buildings. I'm really lazy and I just didn't want to build buildings, but there's no excuse. I'm just a terrible YouTuber. You see what I mean? When you really make these small changes, it just makes the environment look more immersive and just better. Been in this house in a while. Very random off-topic thought, but this is like an old house I made. It's like a mansion kind of build, and I don't go in it often, but it's very nice in here. I got plenty of rooms. I got a little staircase. I got carpets. I got intruders. Hello. But I'm gonna go sleep because it's dark out. Now there is one more important thing that every kingdom needs. And duh, it's the kingdom walls. You need to have walls around your kingdom. Well, you don't need them, but I like them. You see, if you don't have walls around your area, it's just like a town or a city. When you have big walls, it becomes a kingdom. Now, this might be the most useful part of the whole video because a lot of people ask how I make my walls because they're very like large and it's kind of overwhelming to look at, but it's really simple when you think about it. So all I do is take out some cobblestone and some oak slabs. But anyways, the walls are really simple. On the inner wall, I'll just put like a block there. Then I'll do a space of 3. So 1, 2, 3. And on the 4th block, another cobble wall. So basically, my walls aren't just like 1 block wide. They're 5 blocks wide like this. So I'll build these up and I will extend this shape all the way around in a giant circle. So for a small example, if my kingdom was inside of here, the walls look like this. And as I said, I simply raise the walls up as high as I want them to go. So I'll just do these walls like 4 tall. And once all the walls are at the same height at the top, I will then put slabs in the middle at the top block like this. And I'll fill in the entire wall in between so I have a walkway. And as you guys know, every kingdom wall has spikes on it, because that's like a patented part about kingdom walls, the spikes. So that's why I take out blocks and slabs of cobblestone and I go block, slab, block, slab, etc. And I do this on the outside and on the inside as well. By the end of it, we have these amazing spiky walls that look so, what's the word? Immersive. Tonight, you're gonna wake up in a cold sweat shivering thinking of Farzy saying immersive. That's how much it should stick in your head. But yeah, guys, those are about all my tips for making an amazing kingdom. I hope you actually follow through with them and don't just make one building and quit. This takes a long time. Again, this took me almost 6 years. Now, looking back, I wasted a lot of time because I was a noob. I probably could have built this whole thing in like 1 year, but regardless of the time it takes, do it, okay? Stay motivated and try it out because I think this is the most spectacular thing I've ever done in Minecraft. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me, but as you guys might know, in this series, whenever I play in this world, I always end the day getting a comment of the day. And that comment gets placed up there in that giant rainbow called the comment rainbow. So let's go get the comment of the day. And today, in the comment rainbow, we have a new comment by a new commenter. And this new commenter's name is is Lloyd Che. And Lloyd says, I love the work you have done on your kingdom. You always give me inspiration for my world, and you also make me laugh even on days I am bored. In my opinion, you deserve 1 quadrillion subscribers. I don't think that's happened yet on YouTube, so that'd be cool if I got that. That'd be amazing. I'd probably be really rich at that point. But thank you, Lloyd. But yeah, guys, if you want to be in the comment rainbow, make sure you leave a helpful, inspiring, or funny comment in the comments down below, and I'll pick my favorite next episode. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the kingdom tutorial. I hope you build amazing kingdoms. Make sure you send me pictures on any kind of social media. I want to see what you've done. Ow, I just hit my own face. But on that note, make sure to like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time. So until then, goodbye.